Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain an erotic thriller series called Dark Desire from 2022. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The 11th episode opens with a flashback from Dario's early years. Alberto has been shot and he's lying in the bed in his house. His doctor Miguel suggests Lys to admit him to the hospital, but Lys disagrees. She replies that as any of his organs hasn't been punctured, she'll take care of him at home. Darío comes to the room and the doctor praises him for being brave and protecting his father in an armed robbery. Darío remembers what happened earlier. Alberto was chasing him after catching him and Lys red-handed. He pointed his gun at Darío to shoot him, but right at that moment, someone else shot Alberto, and he fell down. In the present, Lys is telling Leonardo about herself and Darío. She explains that Darío is trying to connect her with Julieta's murder because he's a psychopath. Meanwhile, Alma has been caught by the police while talking with Darío in the Rio de Janeiro square. Lys requests Leonardo to help her, as he's the only one she can count on as her lawyer. Leonardo doesn't reply, and hears police sirens outside the apartment. He realizes that they are catching Alma, so he rushes out from the apartment. Leonardo stops the police and tells them that he's her lawyer, and they can't arrest her without a warrant. Alma tells Leonardo to stay away from this and leaves with the police. Meanwhile, Esteban has heard what has been going on inside the police office through the microphone. He meets with Sergio Milano, pretending to be a commander, and asks for the list of all security personnel who were on duty that night when Julieta died. He especially wants to talk to the guy who was on security camera duty. Milano replies that it was Gerardo. As it is Gerardo's day off, Milano gives Esteban his number to contact. The scene cuts to Zoe, who is going through the autopsy report of Julieta. Karina comes to the place and asks Zoe about the reports. She suspects Zoe has visited the morgue again, but Zoe explains that Esteban has given her the reports. Meanwhile, Alma, Darío, Lys, and Leonardo all have been taken to the police station for interrogation. All of them told what really happened except Lys, whose story seemed to be made up. Lys tells Eugenia that she never set foot in the hotel, and instead was at a friend's party named Berta, who lives in the same building as hers. Eugenia asks Alma about the hotel blueprints that they found in her apartment. Alma tells her that she doesn't know about these and suggests she consider the fact that it can be planted. The scene changes to Esteban, who has returned. He meets with Zoe and Karina on the way. Esteban informs Zoe that he has found Alma. She was with him for a couple of days, and now in the police office for the investigation. Esteban also tells her sorry for not contacting her sooner, and hearing that Karina's face changes from realization. Zoe tells him that it's okay and tries to change the topic. Esteban asks to borrow Zoe's car again and then leaves. After he leaves, Karina starts walking away, and Zoe calls her from behind. Karina asks her whether she lied all these times and asks whether it was Mao who helped her get the report. Zoe confirms her suspicion, and Karina walks away. Meanwhile, Darío is telling Eugenia about the video from the bank where his lookalike can be seen collecting his inheritance. He tells her that this is the person that murdered Julieta. Alma also tells Eugenia about the doppelgänger. She tells her that she followed this person to the hotel thinking he was Darío, and the next day, they found Julieta's phone in the hotel room. Leonardo tells Eugenia to not believe Darío, as he's just manipulating her to incriminate Alma. But Darío tells Eugenia that the only thing Alma did wrong was to be with him in the hotel. Lys also suggests that even though Alma might have psychological issues, she doubts Alma has the capability to murder someone. All of them then blame Eugenia for wasting their time in these stupid interrogations when she could have done some real work to find the real killer. Eugenia ends the interrogation and leaves. Mendoza comes to ask her how it went, and she just orders him to bring her the call list of Julieta. While going through the call logs, Eugenia finds something unusual, and she suggests Jimenez take a look too. Meanwhile, Esteban is also listening to their discussion through the microphone. The call logs show that there was only one call from Julieta's phone to Alma. But there's another number which comes up multiple times both in calls and messages during that time frame, including the night of her death. The interesting fact is that the number doesn't come up in Julieta's phone, which they found in the hotel. This can conclude that the phone has been tampered with and they have no evidence against Alma. So, they decide to let everyone go. But they'll get a court order for everyone so that they can't leave the city and will be under surveillance. After listening to their conversation, Esteban gets up and starts calling Gerardo. The scene cuts to Lys, who has gone to Berta for a favor. Meanwhile, Íñigo is in his office burning photos of a woman. The scene changes to Lys, who is now in her apartment. Lys gets a call from someone on her second phone. She asks them whether they didn't get her message. They inform Lys about a particular person. Lys suggests they leave the town for a while as she'll be in her apartment for some time too. But before they leave, Lys asks them to do something for her. The scene changes to Alma, who is with Leonardo in her apartment. They are looking for any hidden bugs or cameras in the apartment. Leonardo suggests Alma to stop contacting Darío, and Alma assures him that she won't. He asks her about Zoe, and Alma replies that she has talked to her and she'll come here tomorrow. Before leaving, Leonardo requests Alma to start over with him, but Alma politely declines his proposal. Meanwhile, Esteban is asking Zoe whether she'll stay with him or Karina. He then says sorry to Zoe for creating a mess between her and Karina. Zoe assures him that it's not his fault and she blew it over. Zoe notices that Esteban has a gun with him. She tells him to be sure what he's doing and leaves. Meanwhile, Mao has gone to Karina's place looking for Zoe. Karina sits him down and reveals to him that Zoe is her girlfriend, and it will be pointless for him to go after her. Mao understands and leaves. The scene cuts to Íñigo, who is going through the Guerra family's files and documents. He finds an envelope addressed to him, and inside there's Dr. Miguel's receipt. On the other side of the receipt, someone wrote that their games with Lys had gone too far. Meanwhile, Alma is in her apartment taking a shower. Darío sneaks up from behind, startling Alma. She asks him how he entered the house, and he replies that as they live together, he has a house key. Alma tells him to pack his things and leave the house, but Darío starts pleading with her. At some point, he starts holding her, and Alma tells him not to touch her. Darío pushes her on the bed to calm her down and reminds her that there are people outside. The scene cuts to the police station. Eugenia and Jimenez are watching the footage where Julieta is arguing with a woman on the terrace. Jimenez tells Eugenia that the audio in this video is not the original one. Frustrated, Eugenia tells Jimenez to go to the hotel and find out how the phone was found, and by whom. She also tells him to inform Mendoza to find out who kidnapped Alma pretending to be an officer. After Jimenez leaves, Eugenia starts removing all the evidence related to Alma and clears her from being a suspect. Esteban enters the office and asks whether he can help. Eugenia realizes it was Esteban who planned everything and kidnapped Alma. Esteban suggests instead of arresting him, let him help her solve the case. The scene changes to Darío and Alma arguing with each other. Darío tries to explain that Alberto and Lys used him. He was a teenager and Lys took advantage of him. Alma tells him to not go into any more details. Darío explains that they took him in to get their hands on his inheritance. After Alberto died, Lys abused him in every way. Alma asks him why he didn't tell her about this before, and Darío replies that he just didn't want to relive the memories. He begs Alma to stay beside him, as she's the only one he can count on. Alma tells him that this is too much for her right now and she can't be with him. Darío asks for her help and Alma rejects him. He then gets up and leaves. Meanwhile, Íñigo has gone to meet with Lys. He tells her that they need to talk about what happened after Alberto died. Flashbacks show Miguel explaining to Lys how to take care of Alberto now. He suggests she hire a skilled nurse, but she declines. Miguel tells her that the anti-inflammatory medicine is very powerful, and they need to be very careful of the dosage. The story comes back to Alma, who is calling her therapist Monica. She tells her that they need to talk tomorrow. Alma requests her that they need to talk alone. Loud banging can be heard, and Alma goes to open the door. She tells Monica to not cut the call in case something happens. She looks through the peephole and sees someone who exactly looks like Darío, and opens the door thinking it's him. But right after she opens the door, the man starts attacking and pins her in a chokehold. The episode ends with Alma losing consciousness and falling to the ground. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.